Hey everyone, welcome back to Bottles and Bites Without Borders. I am your host, Rob. I'm also a guy who spent an absurd amount of time this year traveling through Italy. Well, in spirit, and through food and wine. And today we're wrapping up what I've been calling the Year of Italy, where we've explored Tuscany and Piedmont, Sicily, Northeast Italy, Central Italy, Southern Italy. I've learned so much that I thought it would be a good idea to do a little recap episode on Italy. So consider this your highlight reel, maybe your cheat sheet, or maybe even your inspiration to stock up on some of these wines for the holidays. Let's jump in.
Welcome to Bottles and Bites Without Borders, where every sip and every bite tell a story. Rob is your host. Each week, he will take you on a delicious journey, from vineyard tales and distillery secrets to culinary traditions. So, grab a favorite drink, a plate of something tasty, and join us for another adventure with Bottles and Bites.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Thanks for stopping in for another episode. And before we dive into this recap, let's talk a little bit about why Italy? Why Italy this year? And why did it become the centerpiece for me for 2025? Well, Italy for me checks all the boxes. I mean, it really does. Obviously, fantastic, world-renowned wines, right? Coming out of regions like Piedmont and Tuscany. Others as well, but these being very well known. And when you talk about great wines, you also look for other things you might be able to explore when you hit a country or a region. And Italy gives you that as well with the diversity of wines, wine grapes. I mean, I think they have nearing, I want to say around 400 indigenous grapes that they're making wines from in Italy. So you talk about when you hit Italy and you want to do some exploring, pitch a tent because you're going to be there for a little while. So the endless diversity of grapes with this high quality in what they're producing, it's a great reason to stay a while in Italy. Another reason, they have great foods, and these foods are also very friendly. To make it home, to understand what the dish is, having the deliciousness that they do, they're just very, very food friendly, Italy, when it comes to the dishes that they have. And they go with the wines, right? You know, we have 20 regions in Italy, all having unique wines being made in those regions, but also having unique dishes that are being made in those regions to go with those wines. So huge hit there. And then when you're exploring a country or a region and you're wanting to go through all the different wines and foods that you might find there, you start to go, man, how's this going to hit my pocketbook? I mean, what kind of hit am I going to take here? And that's where Italy checks that box as well, right? We have great values in Italy for wines, up and down, from what you might consider, not even might, what is considered a, high-end wine like Barbaresco or Barolo. You can find stunning wines in these categories for well under $100, but $50, sometimes less than 50. You can get stunning examples of these wines. And then, just great value also includes entry-level wines that are made in a way that punch up, right? We always talk about punching up on the channel where, say you spend $18 for that Chianti Classico and you drank it and go, I'd be happy to pay $35 for this. We love wines that punch up. And Italy, throughout all of its regions, I have found wines that punch up. The other thing I love about Italy is there's this perfect mix, in my opinion, of tradition, but also experimentation. I think that goes with food, and it also goes with the wines. So I love that about Italy. Plus, this year, I just kept meeting more producers and more educators and more somm friends, just recommending the different regions, the different wines, the different types of foods. And I hadn't dug into them that deeply, so this was the year to do it. So that knocks out the why Italy. Why'd you do Italy and why'd you do it this year? Now let's dive into kind of our recap of Italy, what we loved about this country, the foods, the wines, kind of everything we discovered along the way. And let's start with Tuscany. This is where I think most people start when they get into Italy. Tuscany is where, the Italian journey begins. And honestly, there's a reason for that. Chianti Classico, it shines. I mean, it's a delicious wine. And not all Chianti is Chianti Classico. And I say Chianti Classico because I think that's where you need to start. You can get Chianti wine anywhere in Chianti. You can only get Chianti Classico wine if it's made in Chianti Classico. And how do you know if it's made in Chianti Classico? Well, that's where that black rooster still matters, right? You got to see the black rooster on the label. It'll either be on the neck or it'll be on the label on the back or on the label on the front, but it'll be there somewhere. And so if it says Chianti Classico, you'll see that black rooster and you know you're getting that classic region for Chianti. I'll also say Sangiovese is the grape. A lot of people may not know that Chianti is the region. The grape in this region is Sangiovese, and it's very expressive, it's transparent, and it's incredibly versatile, meaning it goes with so many food dishes. It's a beautiful grape. To be honest with you, full transparency from me, it's my favorite wine grape. My wife and myself both love this grape. Be hard to outdo it. Now, when you talk about Chianti Classico being the region, you can go up from there. You can hit a Riserva and you can hit a Grand Selezione. And these are two of what we might call the higher end Chiantis. Not might, they are. They are higher end Chiantis. Chianti Classico Riserva is aged longer and higher quality than basic Chianti Classico. But Grand Selezione takes it further, using the producer's best estate-grown grapes, stricter aging, and more elevated, elegant, cellar-worthy styles of wines being made with Grand Selezione. So that's the big difference there. And this is just a region that you should, step into first. It just makes sense to explore there first. You also have in this region, Super Tuscans just down the road, where you can get into some of the varieties that you might be a little bit more accustomed to. They're in this region in the Super Tuscans when we talk about Syrahs and Cabernets and Merlots and things like that. So it's a great place to start. One of my unexpected discoveries when I was here is how good the non-Sangiovese wines were. And these are some of the white wines. I think when you think about Tuscany, a lot of people don't think white wine. It's just strictly red. But Vermentino and Trebbiano were two wines that I really enjoyed trying and exploring this year as I went through that. Because I never thought about white wines for Tuscany. The other one I would say is a dessert wine, which is Vinsanto. I've gotten to where I really enjoy dessert wines. And Vinsanto is a beautiful dessert wine coming from this area. And again, not very expensive. Great, great value. So Tuscany is no longer that one grape region. It really is a playground for exploration. Now let's head up north. Let's head to Piemonte, Piemonte, all the different ways you can say this region. I'm just trying to be cool. You know I am. Where the king and queen of Italian wines rule. And we're talking about Barolo and Barbaresco. And these are, again, you're going to learn this when you get into the old world. These are regions. These are not wines. These are regions. The grape, well, I shouldn't say that. They are wines. They're not the grape. They're the regions. The grape in these regions is Nebbiolo. And Nebbiolo is haunting. I mean, it's floral. It's tannic. It's structured. It's patient. It wants time. It demands a little of attention. I mean, it really is a stunning and beautiful wine when you get a Nebbiolo. Now, here's the thing I love about Nebbiolo. You can get what I just described in Barbaresco and Barolo, but you can also get some more approachable offerings from Nebbiolo. Like the one I really like is Langhi. These Nebbiolos are approachable. They're beautiful. They're still floral. They're still well-structured. They're not as tannic, which makes them a little more approachable, but delicious, beautiful, well-made wines. And I love that. And what I learned, as I explored Piedmont was Cru Barolo matters more than ever. Barbaresco is still a sleeper value. As great as it is, us wine nerds, us wine geeks, we know about it. We know how great it is. It's still kind of under the radar a little bit. A lot of people sleep on it, and you shouldn't. And Nebbiolo can be powerful or delicate depending on where it grows. And that's the difference between Barbaresco and Barolo. And I'm not going to give too much away. If you want a deeper dive on this, I did a 5-part series covering all these different regions. And you can go back in the library of the podcast and listen to that. And I'd love for you to do so. But here's the fun part. Piedmont's everyday grapes are not Nebbiolo. They're not Barolo. They're not Barbaresco. They are Dolcetto. They are Barbera. They are Friesa. And these were some of the biggest surprises for me. These wines deliver on flavor and value. Dolcetto has become one of my favorites. Barbera has been for the last couple of years, but Dolcetto rivals it now. It's right up there. There's also some beautiful whites that you can get up in this area. Gave being up in this area. So white wines are something that I think is underrated throughout Italy, but I think that they're starting to make a little bit more of a global kind of stamp, if you will. My biggest takeaway from exploring a little bit in Piedmont was Piedmont isn't just a special occasion region. This is a region that produces fantastic wines that you can drink every day of the week. It really does. All right, and then we're going to head out to Sicily. Now, Sicily might have been the revelation of 2025 for me. From Etna to Marsala, the island's wines have personality. They are beautiful, beautiful wines, made in a quality that is, just up there. A lot of people will compare Etna Rosso and Etna Bianco to Burgundy. And honestly, this is the only region I can think of in Italy where you have a white and a red as the signature wines from that region. When we think about Burgundy, we think about Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, and that's your white Burgundy and your red Burgundy, right? Well, Etna is red and white, Etna Bianco, Etna Rosso, and that's your Caricante and your Nerello Mascalese. That's your red and your white. So it's the only region that I've found in Italy that has that connection between a white and a red, that they're hooked. They're part of each other. And I think that's really cool because so many times there's some great white wines in Italy, but they're not tied to a red wine that gives you this kind of connection between the two, and they represent an area or a region. And Etna does that, and they do it really, really well. And what I learned was Etna Rosso, again, is the Burgundy of the South. It's elegant, it's mineral, and it's volcanic. If you don't know, Mount Etna is a active volcano. It's a volcano. So you get this kind of ash being blown out sometimes all over the vineyards, and that plays a part in the vines and what you get in the wines. And so it's very cool. If you're into volcanic soils, you're not going to get anything that's more volcanic than an active volcano in Mount Etna. Nerello Mascalese is downright fantastic. It's addictive. I mean, this is power and elegance all in one. I mean, when we talk about Burgundy, that's kind of the descriptors you might use. It applies here as well. And one of my biggest surprises of Sicily this year was, if you've heard of the dish chicken marsala, and you think of it as this cheap $6 wine, this marsala wine, because, it's a fortified wine. That's what you make with the dish, you use to make the dish. You're right. That's what it is. But the grape used is Grillo. And what I learned this year, and what blew me away, was they are now starting to take that grape and not make it a fortified wine, but make it a still white. And you talk about a delicious wine. Grillo has just catapulted up the white wine list as being one of my favorites. I mean, it's just stunning, the complexity, the body, the acidity, the freshness. It's just a beautiful wine. And I will tell you, in Sicily, the quality to price ratio, it's still insane. It's absolutely insane. You're going to get great prices for wines that, again, punch up. Sicily is producing some world-class wines without the world-class prices. So jump in now, because I'm telling you, as this, continues to gather some steam, more and more people start wanting these wines. You know what that does to prices, everybody. So Sicily is no longer up and coming. It's here. And I think prices are going to change. So get in on Sicily now. Then we're going to go back to what I absolutely enjoyed. This is where, when I talk about the experimentation of Italy, I think this is a region that, does this pretty well. And we're talking about, up in the Northeast, which is Alto Adige and Friuli. This is one of the most underrated wine corners in the world, not just Italy. It's also in Italy, but in the world. Think alpine air, crystal clear rivers, and wines with laser focus. I mean, these are some of the best wines you will ever have. Alto Adige. They make some pristine whites like Pinot Grigio. And when you hear Pinot Grigio, a lot of people go, yeah, Italian Pinot Grigio, whatever. Let me tell you something. Pinot Grigio from Alto Adige is different. It's better. It's fantastic. So if you haven't had one, seek one out and try it. Beautiful wines. They make some Gewürztraminers. They make Sauvignon Blancs, some beautiful Sauvignon Blancs. The region is reliable. It's consistent. It's food friendly. I mean, just all these things that are awesome up there. They have some other grapes like Thuler-Mogau that are up there, and they do Pinot Noir that can be just stunning up there as well. And then you get to Friuli, which Friuli loves texture. So you're going to get that in Friulano. I can't pronounce anything, people. Forgive me. Ribolla Gialla is a great grape that we absolutely love. They do a little skin contact traditions in Friuli. And these are not my favorite thing, but a lot of people do like these orange wines. And so worth exploring and trying. So these are where we get into that experimentation and things that they're trying and doing. The Northeast, Alto Adige and Friuli, beautiful wines, but doing some fun things that you can explore and try as well. These regions are quietly producing some of the best white wines in Europe. And if you're a seafood lover, this may be your region. So next, we're going to head to central Italy, which gave us a little bit of everything. This gave us Verdicchio. This gave us Montepulciano, Sagrantino, Pecorino. Yes, the wine grape, not the cheese. Central Italy is the diverse heartbeat of Italy. And Verdicchio is one of those most underrated white wines anywhere. Sagrantino is this big, bold, tannic, requires a lot of patience type of wine. This is something that, what I've been told and what I've kind of learned is that 10 years or more of aging for Sagrantinos to really be in a place that you're going to enjoy them. And Pecorino, it's this vibrant and refreshing wine, one of the best summer whites you can get. So how many people don't know these grapes yet? Central Italy is a treasure chest of grapes and wines that you can explore and really, really enjoy. All right, then we're going to head to southern Italy. We're not going as far as Sicily, but we're going to talk about Campania. We're going to talk about Basilicata and Calabria and Puglia. And southern Italy is one of the most exciting and fast-evolving wine regions in the world, not just in Italy. With ancient grapes, they got volcanic soils, there's intense sunshine, there's strong regional identities, and the South offers powerful reds, vibrant whites, and some of Italy's best value wines. So here's the concise kind of overview of southern Italy. The character of southern Italian wine, well, it's defined by abundant sunshine, this cooling coastal and mountain breezes, volcanic soils, indigenous grapes. And when we look at, like, let's just say Campania, the key whites here are some of my favorites. We have Fiano, Greco de Tufo, and Falangina. These are three beautiful white wines. I mean, some of the best white wines I've ever had. And that's not an understatement, believe me. And then one of my new favorite reds that I discovered this year, sometimes referred to as the Barolo of the South. This is Aglianico. I mean, this is a tannic, age-worthy, complex, well-structured wine. It's a beautiful wine. If you've never had an Aglianico, you absolutely need to. I don't think a lot of people think Campania when they think about, the wines of Italy, but it's a region that I think people are sleeping on, and you need to really jump in on it. The next area we're going to go to is Basilicata. I don't know how to say it, but Basilicata. This is a small region, but it does have a big reputation. This also is an area that makes Aglianico, especially from Aglianico del Vulture, which is a iconic kind of region, very well known for quality Aglianico. So definitely want to hit this region up as well. These are dark, deep, smoky, volcanic wines, age-worthy, just like we mentioned in Campania, and just like Barolos of Piedmont, for that matter. And the last couple of regions in the south are Puglia and Calabria. And Puglia is known for a wine that is related to Zinfandel, and that is Primitivo. So this is a rich, dark fruit. It's plush. It makes some great wines. The other one I don't know. I haven't had this, Negro Amaro. It's earthy, dark, and savory, but I've not had this wine. So it's something I need to try to find and see what it's all about. This area, not as many wines in Puglia as you would have in Campania, but still, Primitivo would be the big one here that I would say you definitely need to try and compare to a Zinfandel and see what your thoughts are. And then Calabria would finish up the south, which would be, Gaglioppo and Magliocco are the two wines here. Both are different. One is savory, herbal, medium-bodied. The other one, Magliocco, is very dark and spicy and distinctive. So it's if I were going to sum up the southern Italy, the wines of the south in one sentence, I would say southern Italy producers, they're making bold reds, vibrant volcanic whites, and expressive indigenous wines that combine sunshine, history, and unbeatable value. So this is going to, knock your socks off when you try these wines. It is becoming one of Italy's most exciting regions, especially for the modern wine lovers. So after that, let's jump into kind of Rob's 2025 Italian Wine Awards. So my awards for, kind of exploring this region, we're going to have this country. We're going to have the region of the year, the grape of the year, the value wine of the year, the surprise of the year, and what I can't shut up about award. So let's go through these. My region of the year, this is going to be Sicily. Hands down, absolutely loved these wines. Still love exploring Etna Biancos, Etna Rossos, Nero de Avila's, the Grillo. I mean, there's just some great wines here. You combine that with the foods of this region. It's not a place I've ever been to, but it's definitely on the list of places I want to go. Definitely want to hit up Sicily. Grape of the year, man, it's going to be hard to ever change my mind. But when I'm in Italy and I've got to give an award for the grape of the year, it's going to go Sangiovese. I just think Chianti Classicos, Reservas are still knocking it out of the park. I think Vino Nobile de Montepulcianos are fantastic, fly under the radar. And obviously you've got Brunellos, and you just can't beat the value to quality that you get with the Sangiovese grape in Tuscany. Value wine of the year. I'm going to go to Abruzzo and say Montepulciano di Abruzzo. Here we're talking about the grape Montepulciano. I think beautiful wines. You can get, from entry level to these really high-end, complex, well-structured wines that are made from Montepulciano. And I think this is the value wine of the year. The quality that you can getting into Montepulciano di Abruzzo, for less than $20, you get some fantastic wine. So that's my value wine of the year. My surprise wine of the year. This is a white wine from Campania. This is Fiano. I mean, what a beautiful wine. You talk about acidity. I mean, just a gorgeous, gorgeous wine. So my surprise of the year was Fiano. Love this wine. Can't get enough of it. Always looking for it. Then the wine I can't shut up about. That's going to go to Aglianico. Aglianico, again, they call it the Barolo of the South, and it's a well-deserved name because these wines are amazing. They just stunning wines. Again, you get this volcanic soils that these come from. Beautiful, beautiful wines. I love them. I recommend them. I suggest them to friends all the time. I'm going to a wine dinner tonight with some sommeliers, and I'll be taking a 2008 Aglianico. So that's Rob's picks for the 2025 Italian Wine Awards. All right, what Italy taught me as a taster. This year changed my mind how I taste. Italy forces you to pay attention to things. It makes you pay attention to acidity, texture, tannin, regional identity, and foods that complement these wines. It really did make me a better taster. It made me a better cook in cooking the foods in a way that go with the wines a lot better. And honestly, it made me a more curious wine lover. Really love that about my exploration through Italy. The wines you can find, and like I said early on, I'm still not done exploring, but definitely has made me more curious about what the world of wine can be, and Italy is a great place to start when you have that curiosity. If you've enjoyed this Italian deep dive, share this episode, leave a review, or message me on Instagram or the website. And if there's a region you want me to feature next year, I'd love to hear from you all. Italy challenged my assumptions. It expanded my palate and reminded me why wine is endlessly fascinating. It's a place where history, soil, culture, and passion collide in every bottle. Thanks for listening to this episode of Bottles and Bites Without Borders. And until our next episode, keep exploring the world, one bottle and one bite at a time.